Hi, and welcome to this special session from Zen Capita. We're looking at TastyWorks, which is a new brokerage platform that came out recently. But before we go into details, I just want to give you a bit of history about what I was doing in the past. I started my trading platform with TD Ameritrade at that time. It was the easiest one to set up. Everyone was talking great things about it. And over a period of time, I started to come across a platform called Thinkorswim. And when Thinkorswim came out, I found the platform to be much more advanced, much more in-depth and user-friendly than TD Ameritrade's actual platform as well. So I decided to switch over to Thinkorswim, and the rates were also better. I think probably about $4 compared to TD Ameritrade's $9. So we could continue to use that for quite some time. But then, as you do more and more trades, you start to realize that the commissions start to add up. And the more trades you do, the more commissions you pay. So on a small account of, let's say, $10,000 or $15,000, you could be paying a hefty amount on commissions alone. And that's when I came across Interactive Brokers, who would only charge $1 per contract, which was pretty good. So we migrated everything to Interactive Brokers, and I kept my account with Thinkorswim with just a bare minimum of $15, so I could keep it open. And it was actually $10, and it kind of like ballooned to $15 over a period of time, and they haven't closed the account right now. I'm fortunate enough to get real-time data on that. I also requested that it stay on board as well, since the account was open, and they haven't done anything to the extent. Most of the time, you probably need to keep a certain amount, a minimum amount there. I think for Thinkorswim, it's about $2,000 to keep it up, and in Interactive Brokers, you probably need to pay $10 a month. For real-time data. So, my progress moved from Interactive Brokers. Now, the problem with Interactive Brokers is that despite the $1 cost per contract for options trading, there is also the fact that it is very clunky. The desktop version is just super clunky, super old-fashioned. I think it is probably from when they really started the company. It's not very good at all. But the platform that you see on the mobile and the iPad are far better. In fact, what I do is I keep two separate brokerage accounts. I keep one for executing the trades, and one specifically for doing the charting and analysis. And Thinkorswim is actually the best platform in terms of charting and analysis, and keeping things in perspective and organizing it. But when it comes to having a separate platform from Thinkorswim, I chose Interactive Brokers. Just imagine if you're a Butterfinger or you have fat fingers, and you just accidentally were doing analysis on a trade, and it turned into an exact trade rather than just a paper money trade or something like that. Those kind of situations can happen, and you don't want to be on the wrong side of things too late. So I have set up Interactive Brokers separately for that. Now, recently, the guys who started and founded Thinkorswim before it was taken over by TD Ameritrade have actually gone ahead and started their own new platform called TastyWorks. They basically split off from TD Ameritrade, I believe, and they have now formed a company which is separate called Tasty Trade, which is all about content and education. And then Tom Sosnoff, he decided to get into a thing called DAO, which is DOUGH, as in money or bread. And then it migrated into TastyWorks. And I think the guys behind Thinkorswim have really thought this out. They are pretty good at what they do, so I'm going to continue with them and go through that. Now that we're on the TastyWorks platform, I would recommend you sign up for it if you can. But if you're Canadian, unfortunately, you can't. And that's because of all the regulations that are taking place. So with that out of the way, we're going to get into TastyWorks, and we're going to have a look at some of the unique features of this and what is really unique about it. Now, TastyWorks, how they've, in order to get accustomed to this is the screen that you have. They have very, very minimalistic features, very simple features for now. They haven't really gone overhead and gung-ho into, adding stuff right now. They're keeping it as simple as possible. But you'll see some consistent things throughout. So, for example, you see arrows, which are basically drop-down menus. You can well, not menus, but you can actually drop down to expand the information on the screen. You can see that here as well. You can see that if you want to remove and keep it more minimalistic and you don't want to see your P&L every day, you can use this one, and you can use the one on the side as well. Now, this is more or less about the current stock that is being reviewed. You can see all the details, the open, close, high ranking, IV ranking, the dividends, volume, liquidity, and all the other stuff, and any trades that you recently took place in the last 7 days. Now, I'd like to keep this open actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this again, and you see that bar has been removed. You can move it about a bit if you like, but now this is a fixed position. So I don't like to view my recent symbols. It doesn't make sense. It's kind of like an override. But here are some notable stocks that you could have from Tasty Trade, or let's say Tom's Watchlist, or you want to just keep an eye on the market. You just need to click around on these things, and then you can view that. And you can, as you can see, they make sure that it's updated in various locations. So I'm looking at ES right now. As soon as I click on the trade button, everything related to ES is shown here. It's a very visual platform that you see, including the trades, how they're done. Everything is, just by a click of a button with an arrow. Now, one of the most interesting things about the whole platform that I like is that you'll see these gear icons. So you can customize a lot of this whenever you like. So I'll just keep this very simple for now. And if I'm in this section, it's going to show me, it takes me to the same settings page, but it takes me to that specific settings page. For example, when I click on this, as you can see right now, we are on the left sidebar, right? And we have all that is displayed here, and it's very simple. You just need to double click something. So suppose I wanted to drag this here, I just double click it like that, or single click, and to remove it, just click it again. All right, so now I'm on the settings page, and there's general, there's accounts, there's trade, there's watch list check. All the features that you can actually go through, and we'll go through them in detail, can be viewed from this particular settings page. Now, the interesting thing is that you find that one here, one here, one here, and one here. Now let's see what happens. When I click on the watch list, it's taking me to the left sidebar. It clicks me in directly into that area which I'm viewing. If I click onto the trade section here, it takes me to the trades, as you can see here, and it shows me the options that are available here. If I click on this, it will show me, if I want to accounts privacy mode and the accounts details and all that. And if I shift and click on this, it's the same thing as well. So you can actually gain access to any part of the settings page from any particular icon. So it's very good to have these in various locations. If you can see here, this is the position details, and we can click through the position details as well. And if you want to, remove something or keep something, then that's definitely worth having there. So this is something that you need to get accustomed to. I like this layout. I love it. It's because it's very visual as well. You have positions for all your positions. You can you can show the options, or in this case, if I have no options and I just have stocks, it will show that. But I only deal with options. It can do symbol groups, or it can show the actual trades that took place. I like to group them by symbols because that way I can see the kind of trade that's taking place. Now, if I expand on this, you'll see that this is got more information that I can view, and we'll go into that in detail as well. And anything that is closed, I can view it here. The trade tab is similar to the Thinkorswim platform. It's a bit different, and I'll go through that as well. The activity tab is all the kinds of trades that took place in the last, let's say, 7 days or 1 day that you have taken. That's your choice, and it just gives you a perspective of how things are. And of course, you can modify your watch list, and I have upcoming earnings as well with a bit more details here. The charting is not fantastic, but it is good enough, and we will go through that in detail as well. Then you have history of all your trades, and a separate section which is follow. You can actually follow other traders here. Some of the best traders in TD Ameritrade, they have their ideas. You can click on what they're doing. So let's say I'm looking at Tom's trades. He's done Twitter recently, so it can show you the exact trade, and I can duplicate this trade if I like to by just clicking here. So that's a very interesting feature that they have here, and they've actually hidden the help section, and I found this quite surprising, because this question mark is the help section, and if you want to ask a question or you want to chat with them, you can click on this, and if you scroll down, they have it here, right here. All right, so that's the chat now section. So you click on that, and a window pops up saying, this is the person, fill in the information. So that was one feature which I really loved. It was very accessible here, but they've kind of like hidden that for the time being. I think they're just low on staff, and they don't want to have too many people involved in that. So that's just getting around the various sections. I would like you to explore this as well. Remember to sign up for TastyWorks as well, and then we're going to go into details right now, so stick around and I'll show you what's going to happen next. Okay, so one of the things that you need to do when you initially get onto the platform is set up your watch list. Now, I always recommend this, whether you're in Thinkorswim, Interactive Brokers, or whatever platform you are, always have a watch list ready. And the reason why this watch list is important is because you need to be, rather than type in the symbol here, you want to be able to flick through all these pages. Now, let's say in TastyWorks, one of the things that I liked about it is that all the charts are actually linked. Everything is linked together into the watch list. So if I click on this, see what happens. The NQ is actually showing and all the details here, and I can fill up. And if I click on the trade, everything is related to the NQ as well. If I click on this, it changes the YM. Now let's take, for example, I have some pinning stocks that I want to do. Let's take SPG for instance. This has been trending quite well. And as you can see, it's changed here. The positions show me my current positions, but the trade screen actually changes. So it's a very visual platform that I think you should be looking at. Everything is connected to the watch list. So the first thing you want to do is create the watch list. Now, how do we go about doing that? Well, it's very simple. You have two ways to do that. You can come here, or you can add here to an existing list. Now, I come here. All I need to do is click on this. Remove and add anything that I want here, okay? But I'm going to go specifically to this. Now, let's say on my pinning list, I want to add IBM shares, right? Now, I can do it to an existing list by clicking on this, and it will show me the pinning listing. So I'm going to do this, right? I'll just type in IBM here, and it finds the information and then clicks it, shows me a confirmation, and it says add to IBM, right? So there you go. Has been successfully added. Now, let's say I want to create a new list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new list, and I'm going to call it JPM's JPM watch list. Right? I'll just call this anything for the time being, and I'm going to look for Apple. So AAPL, and then you have Apple. And I've selected this, and I'm just going to add it. So it says add AAPL to JPM watch list. And that's how simple it is. So let's say I go here, and you'll see here JPM watch list, and there you have Apple. So anytime that you need to click on something here, all the information is here. You can go directly to the charts, and this will have been pulled up for you as well. So that's one of the beautiful things about TastyWorks that I like. In Thinkorswim, you probably need to do this manually and link all the sheets. Here, it's already done for you. Okay, so now that you've created the watch list, you can add your stocks to this. You can also add them here as well. So now I have JPM watch list. I'm going to go Johnson & Johnson and just click on that. And there you go, it's added. Now, some people like to have a lot of information here. You can pull this to the right as well and add a bit more information. But I like to keep it as simple and minimalistic as possible for the information that I really require. And what is that information? Well, I like to see the last price. I like to see the change in the day and the IB rank and the correlation with the SPY, the 3 monthly as well. Now, you can add anything you like. You can add description, exchange, the mid price, the index, the dividend yield, liquidity, and all that stuff here if you like. But better than that is to come to the main section and add that instead, because you have a bit more of screen space to do that, right? So we have the lists, we have the left sidebar, which is this section here, and the central main area where you can click on this as well. So if you look at the watch list here, so we have much more information. I have the bid ask, the change, the IV rank, the volume, the beta, the correlation to the SPY, whether it's liquid, is the ATM IV, the indicators as well. I like this because it shows you the earnings that is coming up very soon. And also when is the earnings. Now if you look at this, we have August the 16th, which is today. You have it after the bell, which means it's in the evening, and here you have August the 16th before the bell. So TGT is going to be having earnings before the bell. Now 2 days from now, we will have on August 18th before the bell, we will have another earnings for DE, and for BABA 1 day away from now, we will also have that as well. So this is what I really like to have in the watch list, the main watch list. Now sometimes what you would like to do is, let's say you're on a charting screen, you would like to go to your current position. So I have SPY and QQQ. Just by clicking on this, I get all the information that I require. Now I'm going to get into the details of how I set up my charts, but this is very, very useful information that I can put together. Whatever positions I have, I can quickly scroll through them just by clicking on the left side, and all the charts and all the information shown here on this page as well. So I really love that feature of TastyWorks. Okay, while we're on the topic of charts right now, I'm going to show you how I set up my charts and keep it very simple and clean as well. The last thing you want to do is to be cluttering your charts with too much information, and too much information really cannot help you. Now, what I've done here in this case is, as you can see, I've color coded my indicators as well so that I can quickly identify what they are as well. Now, before I get into it, I'll just give you a quick overrun how I have. This is the normal chart that you'll have. Plus all these indicators. The gray lines are basically the moving averages. So you have the 200-day. This is. Let me show you here, because this gives you all the information. You can make this floating if you like, but it's actually color coded as well. So the 23-day is this one, the yellow one, the dotted one, right? I have the 8 dotted is the 8-day moving average. The 23 is this one, the 200 is this one, this gray one, the 50 is this one, the 200 is this one, and also the 100 as well. So I have color coded them so you can go through them as well. And at the bottom I have the momentum oscillator as well. And let's go into details about how this is added. So you click on the indicator screen. And you can add anything. You have pretty much all the basic stuff here. All the indicators are available. You will just need to color code them. Now, let's say for volume, I like it to be shown in the graph as well. Sometimes you don't need it, but sometimes you do. So I've just made sure that it's colored, somewhat similar to the actual background as well, so it's not too much information. We'll look at this one. This is the 8-day simple moving average. I have a dotted line, as you can see here, this dotted line, and that is a yellowish color as well. Below that, I have the 23. And that's a solid yellow line, which is this one. So anything, some people use 21, some people use 23. Really doesn't make much difference. In fact, let me just reduce this. As you can see, it flattens out a bit. But let's keep it at the 21 for the time being. And we have the 200-day moving average as well, which is a solid gray. I have made that a width of 4. So you can see it's much more thicker. The next one is the 50-day. You can put in any order. That's this one here. And you have the 100 as here as well, which is slightly thinner than the 200-day moving average. So in addition to that, we have a parabolic SAR. I found this quite useful actually, which are these dotted lines. Anytime the price is the dotted lines, the parabolic SAR is above the price, that's not a good time to get into the market or into that particular stock. So long as the parabolic SAR is below the price, it is probably a good time. So you can see here we had a parabolic SAR right here, and although the market was a bit down that time, that would have been a good time to get into it, and it started to move up as well. So these are there are shifts that happen in there, and I could explain that in more detail. There is also the momentum, which is below here, above 0 and below 0. Now, if you are a big follower of the squeeze and John Carter's theory, you could add the Bollinger bands and the Keltner channels along with the momentum oscillator, and that would be what we call a dirty squeeze, but it's not as good as having a proper squeeze diagram. I hope the guys from Simpler Options and Simpler Trading actually come around and develop the platform or the indicators for this. That would be really, really good to have. Just having the dots and the momentum oscillator inside built into that is a fantastic piece of information. Now, I like to keep my charts on a daily and keep it with a 5-year. So what happens is if you want to zoom in, what you can do is use your mouse, or you can just drag this and drag out like this as well. So I like to have a bit of granularity as well so I can see the chart better. So this is the first day, second day, third day, goes on like that. And as you can see, the changes that are happening right here. And if I want to go back a bit more, I can always look at it like this by scrolling the icon at the end. So if I was looking at the SPY, same case, the information would come in. I have, for example, I have a markets list. So let's look at the E-mini DAOs, and I've put some indicators indicators on the top. So how I did that is I use this and I change the color of them to indicate. Anything with a dotted line means if it falls through that, we would see a support here, or we would see a critical line here. I would have liked to see what I was clicking on right here. It just says price level. It doesn't give me much information other than that. With Thinkorswim, what I like is it actually shows you, so you don't really need to add that information in there. I don't think, let me just try clicking on this. No, there is no option to set there. But anyhow, nevertheless, it's a very elementary thing, and I think the reason for that is because TastyWorks guys are more visual traders, yes, but they use the table rather than the charts themselves. So they rely more on this and probability and the math of doing options rather than anything else. All right, so we have the markets which are open right now, and we're going live. So you can see that happening here. The trades are happening live. Market is open with this indicator. The quotes are real-time quotes as well, and we're connected. So this is a very interesting thing that we have right now. I'm gonna get into a bit more of the details and the nitty-gritty behind the platform, which is very useful for you. So let's click on the settings here. Now, the first thing we need to look at is how long to show the notifications in seconds. So basically in the top left hand corner, as soon as a trade is made, just like in Thinkorswim, you get a notification here, you get a notification here saying whether it's working or filled or whatever. And I like to keep it at 2 seconds, nothing more than that. Now the thing that you need to be focused on is this quote speed here. I like to keep it on the fastest, but mind you, by doing this, you're gonna use a lot of your computer's resources. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. Other than that, this is the main general settings that you have here. You can leave this unchecked for the time being. Let's go on to the account section. Now, under the account section, you can put it in privacy mode so no one can actually see your trades. And this is like if you're doing a demo, you can do this. I don't care really about this. I don't mind people seeing my account balance and all that. As I said, ZenCapita is about being transparent, transparent trading, and that's basically what if we've made a loss, we've made a loss. That's it. The positions tab is basically what's on your positions going on. What are the views that you'd like to see, and I'll get to that in a minute. And also the position details as well. That's also there as well. So you can choose what you want just by clicking on a thing, and it will automatically get added to one side, which is displayed and which is not displayed. And I love this a lot. It really helps making it so easy to just transfer between the locations. Okay, let's look at the more important section, which is the trade section. Now, under this section, you want to show your positions, you want to show your working orders, and also the price range for the expected move as well. Now, basically what I'd like to do is to focus on this area. This is a very important area. Now, if you're doing, let's say, directional trades, or you're doing, single-legged order, the last thing you should be doing is doing a natural price. You should keep it at the mid price. And the reason is because, let's say there's a wide bid and ask spread between, let's say, $1 and $1.5. Normally what would happen in a natural price, it would go to the 1.5 and it would be submitted and you'd get filled in immediately. So you'd say, hey, that's great. But, when you check your P&L, it takes the mid price and then it says, oh, you've actually made a loss. So rather than go through all of that, just select this and go for the mid price, because that way it actually takes the mid price. Now, in terms of millisecond delay before sending the order, I keep this at 0 because I don't like to see any delay. The moment I submit it, I want it to go through. Duplicate the trade immediately after send is an important thing. Sometimes what happens is you may take like single orders, like you may do one contract or one lot, and then you may want to add on to that as time goes by. So rather than recreate the entire thing, by giving this, it stays there and you can keep on adding on to that. So that's a very useful thing to have when you're placing the trades actually. Okay, so we looked at the order section, and I'm going to skip the stocks. You can go through that if you like. It's basically the default order quantities for either 10 or 1 or whatever. I don't usually use this, so I'm pure options trader right now. The other thing that I want to go through is this section, the options. Now, default option, order quantity. Basically, depending on the size of trades that you do, or like if you have a big account, you may want to keep that at 10 or 100, whatever it is. I like to keep it at 1 and then just increment from that. And the option order quantity increment can be 1 or 10 or whatever, or 2 or 3. If you want to pyramid yourself into an order and just discover the price and the how it's going along the way, this is the best thing to do. So set these two things up before you start trading, and you should be good to move. Now let's go to quickly to watch list. We had a look at this. This is creation of the lists. This is the left sidebar, and this is the central main area where you can add as much as information as you want, which is in this area here, right here. All right, on the charts, you can reset to default. There's nothing there. And if you have an account with TastyWorks where you've basically signed up before a particular time, you can get trade ideas from Bob the Trader. Mine is linked, and therefore, I'm eligible for that, and therefore I've got that. So that basically sums up how to set up your platform. It's a very simple platform to set up, and we'll go into a bit more details right now on the trades and the positions as well, and how you can keep a tab of things. Okay, so before we go into the details, I just want to touch upon the difference between the account balance and also the particular stock details as well. So if you remember, let's take, we have two positions right now, SPY and QQQ. If you click down on this arrow here, you can get all the details about that particular account that you have. Now, in my case, this used to be a $15,000 account when I started. We're down about 1,300. On Delta is 96, which is quite low, and the theta is also 19. So this gives you basically a picture of your entire portfolio. Some people don't like looking at this, some people do. The problem with looking at this is that you keep on checking back every 5 minutes. So let's remove that out of the way. Now, for a particular stock, let's say, now I'm looking at target, so here we go. We can actually detach this, if you see right here, and we can expand this and look at the details about this. So let me just expand this a bit more for convenience sake. So we have here the open, the close, the high, the low, the bid and ask, the IV rank compared with the rest, the IV index of that particular stock, whether there's earnings before the bell or after the bell, the volume, if there's dividend, how much liquidity they have, the 52-week, how much is it correlated with the SPY, and also, for example, if you have a position, it will show you exactly what that position is and how your Greeks are in accordance with that as well. So I love this feature a lot, and it's good to see this on the right side and keep a perspective of the kind of positions that you have. Now in this case, as you can see, correlation is 1, of course, because I am looking at the SPY, but the volume, earnings is not there, but all the information, all the kinds of trades that I have are here, and I actually can click on this and actually cancel or replace the order as well. So that's a good feature. Sometimes having this here, by trade and by grouping is also very useful. I can check in the previous 60 days how much I've done and things like that. I can look at the filled ones, which are anything that's working right now, or the cancelled ones that I had, or anything else. So this is a wonderful feature to have, and it keeps track of everything there. All the information about the stock is there, about your account. Just click on this and you get the entire picture of this thing. So if you need to, let's say I need to reduce the delta on mine and increase the theta, I would take an opposing position and try to work something out in those areas. So that's an interesting feature to have, and I think you should keep that in mind when you're using this platform. All right, we're going to do two important sections right now. We're going to look at the position section and the trade section. All right, and what I like about this is, as I mentioned earlier on, is the way they have actually made this so simple to organize. Now, in the position section, I have two positions going on right now, an SPY and a QQQ, and the kind of things that I've included in this, you can actually change that here from the positions by clicking any of these items. Makes it very easier. But I have the market price, the trade trade price, the probability of profit, how much it's going to really reach that, the delta, the theta and the vega, the cost and the liquidity price right now. If I liquidate this, my P&L right now, is it open or closed? How much am I going to lose, the actual amount, and for the day as well. And I can also see the unrealized gain as well after I've actually closed those trades. What I like about TastyWorks is this feature here. It says expand all. Now it's grouped all the trades together under a particular symbol. So you can see I've done 2 of these and a 5 and 10 here as well. It doesn't actually say whether it's a butterfly or iron condor or whatever it is, whatever kind of position you're taking on, but it does allow you to look at the whole thing. Now, if you want to look at the individual trades that actually took place, now as you can see, I did 2 here and 2 here. There is a unique feature which I love so much about this, is that if you want to see where you are at a particular point in time, there will be a symbol here which says this is F for filled. If I select working, it will show W as well, or cancelled. So these are indicators which give you the exact position that you're in. Now, why is this good? Because you may have actually done, let's say, 2 SPY trades, on 2 different legs, and it will show up as -4 and +2 here, but they're 2 individual trades done at 2 different times. So sometimes what you need to do is see these trades and just, let's say, cancel the order or replace the order, or, close it, whatever it is. Now, the advantage with this thing is, like, let's say I want to close a particular order. I right click on this, and as you can see, there's an option to close the default quantity, which is 1, or the full quantity that I have taken, that is 2. Or I could, roll over to a particular point in time and get a particular, credit for that. So there are certain features that are really nice and easy to use in this, and I think you should explore that. I really like the way they've actually, clubbed this together. You can look at it individually on those trades, or you can look at it as a block as well. Now, let's go into the trade section, which is the most interesting and I think the most visually oriented. This is somewhat similar to the Thinkorswim trades. You can change this. Anything with a 0 or a circle with a dot in it is changeable. So I have volume and I have delta to give me an idea of what kind of volume. You can choose this to be open interest if you like. And of course, anything which is a weekly is managed with a W. Anything that's monthly is just no W at all. And it shows you the strike rates and also the number of days left. I love this. In interactive brokers, I don't believe they show this properly as well, and this is a big problem which I have with them. Now, let's say, for example, we want to do an October trade. The most important feature that I love about TastyWorks, it's very visual. You can actually see and do things. Now, even if you don't know how to construct a trade, this box is going to be your lifesaver. So you have the different types of trades: verticals, triangles, straddles, options, iron condors, butterflies, jade lizards, calendars, or stocks, whatever it is. Now, you can change that by saying I want to go short a put, or I want to go short a long call, just by clicking on these options. Okay. So let's say I'm going to do a long put. All I do is just select that and click go, and there you go. Bam, this is what happens. The beauty of this is it's now very clear to me. Anything which is in red, which says S1, meaning I'm selling 1 quantity of this, I can change the quantity by using this line here. See, it's gone to 2, and I can make it back to 1 again. I can just drag it around for a particular level. Now, let's say I wanted to do a long vertical put. I wanted to do within the range. Now, so you see this orange light here. Let me just clear this for a second. You see this orange area here. This is the expected move. So you will have, let's say, a $1 move, $1.17 move between this. We can take something if there's anything else larger. Okay, let's do this one, December's. As you can see, the move is much more larger here, and that's shown here, and it can also be shown in this orange section here. So that's a good idea. It gives you a good picture of the kind of trade that you're putting in place, and what kind of position you want to have. So let's go back to this. I'm going to give this a almost $2 wide spread. And as you can see, now what has happened is the green area shows that in order for my trade to become profitable again, it needs to get into this area. If it goes here, if from the current price, if it goes here, it's going to be a loss-making trade. So this is a wonderful thing. The other thing is you can see most of your, in Thinkorswim you have an analyze tab, but here you get to see everything up close. So just by changing this, it increases or decreases the probability of 50%, right? See, so this is a really wonderful thing to have. I can make it even closer, and I can actually see the changes that are happening as well. The theta, the maximum profit, the maximum loss. Let's increase it a bit here and see what happens. Maximum loss 173. Maximum profit is this. Now, if you wanted to change the price, you can come here also and change it. All those options are there. You can increase the price here. You can lock it in if you want. Another interesting feature that I really love in this is the ability to change this. Now, typically you would see a good to cancel. Now, let's say sometimes you do a trade, and let's say we're on Wednesday right now. I don't want this trade to be executed until Friday, because after Friday it doesn't make any sense. So I can select good till date, and I can choose the date by clicking on this and say by Friday do this trade, otherwise just delete it or remove it. And that's a wonderful feature to have in TastyWorks, and I think you're going to be using it a lot. It's a very visual platform. If I want to cancel it, I'll just do this, and again, if I want to select anything, that's here. I want to remove anything, make it a short put instead, click go. It becomes a net credit, and I can do it good till date and all that. So it's a really, really wonderful thing to have. I love this trading platform in that respect, and I think the more you explore it, the more you'll find it useful. There is another section to this, which is using the visual representation. Now, I have not really got around to this, so I'm not the best person to explain this. But basically, what you can do is do the same thing and move the position around. Visually as well, to see how it will fare. So that's a good idea as well. You can try experimenting with that. Same thing here. Let's do a long straddle. As you can see, these positions can be moved around according to your convenience, and you can decide based on the profitability of whether it's worth sticking around with that kind of trade. So I think these are the two most important things. Recently they have included active trader. So this is actually for stocks right now, not for options. So when they do come up with options, I will definitely be looking at that, and I find this is a very interesting thing because you can actually see the position right now. It's similar to the active trader in Thinkorswim. I think that is a really good graphical representation of using this thing. I love the way they've laid this out. It's very clean. They have not come up with a mobile platform right now. I'm just waiting for that, and I think that will be just as easy and just as good to use as well. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so we are going to look at some of the most interesting parts about this, and there's how much money you can actually save from using TastyWorks. We have a small Excel sheet which was prepared by TastyTrade, which is an affiliate company, although they claim to be separate. At the end of the day, the maths do add up, and thanks to my cousin Abin for putting this together as well. He compared the rates both on the current brokerage that we use, which is Interactive Brokers, and compared that with TastyWorks as well. And I am a bit surprised, although I had a gut feeling that TastyWorks would be cheaper, and that's basically what it is. So if we look at this is basically all the commissions and fees and everything that are added, and we have a certain number of assumptions, like number of trades per year and what's the size of your account and etc. And what this does is, and we'll give this to you as well as a add-on, you can type in the values yourself and compare it with anything else. But basically what this is over a period of time, your current brokerage, which we're using Interactive Brokers, is the fees would be about 1,724, whereas TastyWorks, which we're evaluating, would be 1,325. So that's definitely a bit of a cost savings there. So a 23% cost saving is pretty good. And at the end of the day, you're going to be saving money, and that's basically what you want to be doing. So we're going to give this as a small bonus gift to you, and hopefully you can use this and play around with it yourself. It was prepared by TastyTrade, which is an affiliate company with TastyWorks, but at the end of the day, it's science is data, and data is science, and this is basically what we have here right now. You can put these values in and compare yourself. I'm pretty much convinced that TastyWorks is actually cheaper. I've been using it for quite some time. I have to admit that we did have a bit of a problem in between, but I think, and I have to say that they are a fantastic group of guys. It's a startup. They had their problems. They rectified their problems with me when we were doing some trades. For some reason, something was going wrong, but they owned up to it and they said, look, we did have a bit of a fiasco, but we are growing, and we are growing in the right direction as well. And I believe them, and I strongly feel that it's worth sticking with them. In fact, I was planning to take my entire account and move over to TastyWorks from Interactive Brokers. But for the time being, as they continue to grow, I don't want to be caught in the wrong position. Keep your account small, give it a try. It's one which can save you a lot of money in the long term, and I think that's the most important thing for you as well. So that's it. This is a free bonus. Download it and use it as you wish. Okay, so we've come to the end of this presentation. I hope you found it very useful. We put a lot of effort into it to make it as simple as possible and also as concise as possible in the shortest possible time. And we didn't want to go into too much depth, but we did want to give you substantial reason to actually sign up for the account. And our friends at TastyWorks, we found out that they have some of the most competitive rates in the brokerage industry. So that and the fact that they have a really great platform is something that you should actually sign up for. So if you want to set up an account today, just go through this link, zencapita.com/TW, and you will get the chance to sign up and maybe a couple of bonuses, who knows. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and please do share it with your friends by subscribing to our channel, asking them to share or like this presentation as well. We really appreciate it, but more importantly, sign up for the account. So take care and have fun, and happy trading.